guys, welcome to Part Duh. I just wanted to intro this week's movie. So we're talking about Pretty Woman. So we're focusing on some Julia Roberts movies. Some of the classic, iconic roles that she's played, and timeless roles, truly. Because we watched Pretty Woman and it held up. It was very funny and we enjoyed it. So my guest this week is my wife, my beautiful wife Amanda. And glad she could join me, and looking forward to this conversation. So, without further ado, Part Duh.
I liked the movie. I realized that I hadn't seen the whole thing, like the entire thing, start to finish. I hadn't seen the intro. So it must have been like, I feel like that movie played on TV a lot. And I just, would catch it halfway through or whatever. And so I liked it. I thought it was funny. We laughed a good amount. There's definitely some some things that held up better than other parts. But overall, I enjoyed it. I had a really good time watching it.
Me as well. I thought it was a very funny movie. I thought Julia Roberts was great. I thought she made the movie.
Best part.
Yeah, exactly.
Julia Roberts.
Funny and endearing, and you could buy it. I think it was very funny to see George Costanza as a bad guy too. Was not.
I feel like he's played a few bad guys since.
Has he? I don't know. I was very shocked by his performance.
He was a good bad guy. He was just kind of gross.
Yeah, very.
I hated him.
Very, very good bad guy.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think some of the sexism.
I guess the drama of the.
I couldn't follow it.
I mean, the drama
the merger or whatever, the acquisition.
Yeah,
I couldn't follow it.
And then his solution at the end, he's like, "I'm falling in love with you. How about I keep an apartment here, and every 6 months I come back and visit?"
Yeah, well.
And she said that won't work with me. What did you think about $100 an hour? Was that a little low for you? I want to go to the movies. Next day, she enrolls at UCLA, and he cuts her a big check for going to school.
Yeah, maybe she goes to business school, and she has the people skills for business.
Has the people skills. He said when he was describing what she did to Jason Alexander, he said she was in sales. What do you think happens to Jason Alexander the next day?
Oh my God, he implodes.
Do they call the police? Are they like, we need to arrest this man because that's a taped attempted?
It didn't seem like they were gonna do that.
Yeah, he's my lawyer.
That was also disappointing. Yeah, I think Richard Gere, cuts ties with him because if Julia's gonna come in to the business, maybe they're not gonna be able to work together.
Do you think our wedding bells in their future, or are they just going to be long-term commitment? No.
Well, he did say he had an ex-wife and an ex-girlfriend and an ex-dog and an ex-house.
So you think he's done with marriage?
I don't know. I could see them giving it a shot. She seems to, at least her character, which I think is a little unfortunate, but really was into the fairy tales and being rescued and kind of your stereotypical I don't know, gender roles. So I don't know, based on that, I guess I would say she might want to do that, and he seems pretty smitten with her. So
what, do you give him a year? Do you give him 6 months?
I still think they get married.
You think they get married?
Yeah.
But do they last?
I think so.
Okay. She's a romantic.
I think she's fun, and he can just loosen up a little. I kind of think reboot. Okay. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of options. It just depends on which way you want to take it. I think it could be a reboot in that, we update it. This original was set in the 80s. I think we could do one, maybe in the 2000s or today. where you have like similar characters, but like just more modern circumstances.
I think prequel is off the table.
Yeah, I agree.
don't think, we need to see
No.
how they ended up where they were. Anthology, I also think is off the table. I don't need to see a Pretty Woman, Miami.
Yeah, right.
But I do think a reboot is very interesting. Like you said, just kind of updating things to a new time period. I think the point you said into the 2000s, I wasn't thinking that. I was just immediately thinking, rebooting it in today. But it would be interesting to do like the idea of someone coming into some sort of financial situation which forces them into prostitution. Like something like
the 08 crash. Yeah.
Exactly. Or like 2020 COVID, They had this whole thing and then COVID happened and their business went under and they have to
I mean, yeah, that would be, I feel like COVID would be a very tricky, if we're going to do prostitution again, it would be a very tricky thing to navigate and like tell a story around. We'd have to really do our research on like what happened with sex workers during that time.
I mean, I feel like things got better for them, I thought. I don't know. I mean, things are better for sex workers now than they were in the 80s.
Yeah, but people had COVID.
True. Yeah.
I'm like...
That's great. That's a great
Everyone
question.
stayed
Did they
home.
mask up? Or?
That's what I'm saying. I think they were out of work for a long time. I vaguely remember hearing something about it, but yeah, I don't think a lot of them were working.
Wow. All right, well, and then 08 maybe would be the best.
Yeah, I think that's good.
08 financial crisis and something about that driving someone into this situation. I also like a sequel idea. I mean, the question is, did they stay together? And if they did, what is their life like now?
I just wonder if we saw, the most interesting part of their relationship already.
That's fair.
I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, it's like, how do you really top that meeting of, I thought your mom was, your mom and me met when she was prostitute.
Yeah. I guess that conversation would be interesting to watch, but
yeah. Okay, we are back. So sequel ideas. Why don't you give us your sequel idea, my love?
Okay, so I was thinking, what if we did a male prostitute?
Okay.
Yeah, just to change things up, subvert expectations. I think, everyone loves Pretty Woman. But, people also really like Magic Mike.
True.
So,
Magic Mike, that's a great comparison. Yeah.
Not that it has to be and this wasn't raunchy, but there definitely was very heavy, I think you had said male gaze framing of a lot of shots and just kind of I don't know, there's just something that tone was really there throughout the movie. So, personally, I'm kind of all right, let's shake things up. So it's a male prostitute.
With the female gaze.
I don't know. Maybe. We have a female CEO of, I don't know. Maybe she's acquiring companies like Edward was in the movie. Maybe she's, I don't know, contractor, consultant, or something like that in the financial world somehow or something. And and so they get together.
I like that a lot. I had an idea for a sequel, and I was going to pitch, but honestly, as she was pitching it, I was like, oh, man, I'm buying this.
Let's hear it.
So here's my add-on to yours.
Okay.
So I think I like the idea of a male prostitute. I like the idea of the 08 crisis kind of being what set him off. What if he is a stockbroker at one of those places, a bank? What do stockbrokers work? Okay, so he's a stockbroker. So let's say
maybe he's just getting on his feet for being a stockbroker.
So he's 2008. It's his first year as a stockbroker, and shit goes terribly. And he loses everything that he moved to New York from Iowa, and he's like, this is it. That's all I have. I got to make it in this New York City or nothing. And then it fails immediately as soon as he gets there. and he's forced to become a prostitute. Starts, prostitute. And what is the right word for that? Starts prostituting?
Starts hooking.
So he starts hooking, and then one of his customers is this CEO of a bank. One of the banks that maybe triggered the financial crisis.
I'm in.
So he's like, hooking up with her, falling in love with her, and is also like, she is the reason she destroyed my life. What would the drama be? Because in this one, he told his friend, his lawyer, she was a hooker, and that's kind of
the drama.
I mean, that's kind of.
That was kind of like the fight. Yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
And
no,
then
I like that. I like it.
Right. Like, so the thing is, I guess in this one, he finds out she like caused this bank, the failure, the financial crisis or whatever, and after he's fallen in love with her and has to kind of reconcile his feelings.
Yeah.
And her actions.
Yes. And I think, the conflict for her too, like, I think she should fall in love with him too. And, maybe she comes from like this wealthy family who, would never, I think there's
even if.
Yeah, there's like this interesting like class kind of hierarchy and familial kind of pressures and expectations. So
I like it. Okay. So I think that's our sequel.
Yes.
All right, let's roll into the questions.
I don't think it can't be called Pretty Woman, or it could be, but
it could be, but I don't think it would really sell what the movie we're selling is.
Right.
Could it be handsome boy?
No, that sounds so creepy.
Pretty businesswoman?
No. No. I think it needs to be something different. I think it needs to be something different entirely.
Boy toy? I was like, is there a name for like a male prostitute?
No, not a gigolo.
A gigolo? Is it gigolo? I thought that was, yeah.
I think
for some reason, I thought gigolo was a pimp.
I know. I think you're right.
So,
but maybe. Pretty gigolo, pretty jiggy.
Pretty jiggy. Magic Mike. Maybe he's got some street name. He's like, I Hook under my hooker name. Because did she have 2 names?
Vivian?
Yeah, was she like, I'm Vivian. That's my hooker.
No, she said a Vivian right away.
Interesting. She never said like Candy.
No. She did say, I'm whoever you want me to be.
Yeah, that's fair. I was like, that's probably bad,
I know. That's the thing. I'd never seen the beginning, and so when she said her name, I was surprised because I didn't think she would have. Yeah.
She was also a bad hooker, maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm like, yeah, you're getting a little too comfortable.
What's that bull on Wall Street about?
Bull on Wall Street.
The big bull.
I don't know, but maybe that's it.
Maybe there's some kind of story behind that that we could pull from.
I like that.
Julia Roberts.
I agree.
I mean, Jason Alexander's had a good career. Richard Gere's had a good career, but
there's only one Julia Roberts.
There's only one Julia Roberts.
That's absolutely
true. Julia's coming back.
Julia's back.
Edward and Vivian are at some kind of function together, and they're at the same table as the CEO and the male prostitute, and he's eating and he's using the wrong dinner fork or salad fork for his course, and she's made that mistake in the original, and so she says, and
you
she catches yeah, I was like, what does she say? How do you say that?
I see.
I think she's
the right forks.
Maybe she doesn't need to call him out as like a hooker, but maybe just recognizing that he's out of his element and having been there herself. I think her character is really kind-hearted, so just like offering support.
Who would be the new cast? So let's first cast the CEO banker woman who hires a prostitute to help her in some way. She's cold. She's a little older, I think you would have to say. But she eventually becomes less cold and falls in love with this male hooker.
Yeah.
I was thinking Kate Winslet.
I like that.
You know,
Yeah.
Mayor was kind of like another kind of tough, like a woman who didn't take any shit, I should say.
Yep, I like that.
So.
That's a good one.
And she's, another great actress.
Wasn't she in a movie where there was kind of some like older woman, younger man?
The Reader. Yes, that's a good point.
I didn't see it, but
so we know she's into that kind of material.
I guess
Maybe we can get this in front of her.
Uh-huh.
And then as the male,
yeah, I know.
who we casting? That's the tough one.
That is the tough
See,
one.
I think this one is where we make it a little woke. I think a person
diversify. You mean?
Yes, a person of color in this role, because again, we have that gender.
We got class, we got gender,
and we've got race. You know, so
the trifecta.
I like the idea of him being like coming to maybe I don't know where he would come from. Maybe he's not from Iowa in this case.
What about like Dev Patel?
Ooh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
I just wonder if, like, you said Kate Winslet. We're talking maybe Dev Patel. I feel like it could also be like really like kind of beautiful and like cinematic and really like a true drama.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even and like, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like a little bit of like Succession, kind of like elegance, but also darkness and drama.
I think that is a great tonal like person
comparison.
We should try to get.
But then that's not really funny.
Well, Succession was funny, very funny to me, but it was like funny and it's like I can't believe this is real and like this is how people behave, but it's like also like wow, that is absolutely how they would behave and what is real.
Putting herself in like they really downplayed the dangers of sex work
and the sadness.
Yeah.
I mean, her friend that was like addicted to drugs, she was like the funny one.
Right.
She was the comedic relief.
Yeah.
I think in the remake they would definitely make her.
Just didn't feel quite right in some way, I think.
Yeah.
But I also thought the movie was like in the characters Julia's character was endearing. So I don't know. I think it needs to be a little more like realistic and dramatic and I don't know.
I think it could use
maybe
a little
artful.
more. Yeah, a little more realistic drama. Because it felt a little hokey as we were watching it. That was our only. I mean, it was funnier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And like cornier than I thought it would.
Yeah,
be.
it was corny. It was definitely corny at
So
times.
I think if we did it, genre-wise, make it a little more dramatic.
Yeah.
But keep it funny.
Maybe there's like funny sprinkled in, but like it's not a comedy.
Yeah. Maybe even just like there is still a character who is funny.
Yeah.
Like because in this one, there there were characters that you're like, once this guy's on screen, it's going to be funny.
Yeah. I think doing some real research on the realities of prostitution, the risks and rewards of it, it doesn't all have to be dark and depressing. Sometimes it's very much a choice and other times it's very much not. And so I think getting that right for our male lead would be important, to not like cheapen it and kind of like make a mockery of it, because it really is. Yeah, that's people's lives. Absolutely. So yeah, just figuring out like why he's going to it, what angle, and then, making sure that all of his decisions and his actions ring true to like that why. Even if you're not a prostitute, you can relate to the fact that like, there's issues around race, there's issues around gender, there's issues around sex, like, capitalism as a whole and what it does to a society. I think kind of playing on all of those kind of areas will be key.
I agree. I mean, if you can't relate to the prostitute, at least you can relate to the billionaire. You know, one of those.
What was the intro song to Pretty Woman? Not Pretty Woman,
but
it was
great.
so good.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna need to know what it is.
Let's look that up.
Great, King of Wishful Thinking, so good. Should it come back?
I think that song should absolutely come back at some point.
Maybe as a little its own little cameo in the movie.
Yeah. Who do you think, baby? Who could Johnny Drama
I feel like he
play?
could be like a cab driver, you know, or like a limo driver driving them around. He could who like follows them, like he's almost like, or maybe like her assistant.
I could see that. I could see him as like some other kind of. But the thing is, Johnny Drama's kind of got this like, you know, everyman vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he'd have like the business acumen to be a convincing. So I was thinking maybe he's like another hooker.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, this is my corner. I've been hooking here for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
I think if we do Fast Five franchise forever, in order to do that, we would need to bring Julia Roberts and Richard Gere back. I think
Into every movie.
And Richard Gere and Julia essentially become George Clooney and Brad Pitt. And it's essentially, you know,
yeah, I get it.
Ocean's 11, billionaires taking out other billionaires who they think are evil, you know, doing right by the world. And they're assembling a team each time. And
prostitutes and billionaires.
Of Julia's prostitute friends and his, like, yeah, billionaire friends. Or he's like, I know a shady lawyer.
Maybe it's a mini series because we're interested to know how, you know, Dev came to New York and his, you know, highs and lows that brought him here, and same thing with whomever. I think a really strong cast. I don't know. I don't know that this is like the popular opinion, but I just am always interested in like some of the more like realness that I feel like Hollywood kind of glosses over sometimes. So, you know, again, that like day to day of being a prostitute, or like the challenges and rewards again of being a prostitute.
Okay, yeah.
What
reward?
I mean,
like sex all the time.
You like get your day free.
You're like, this will take about 20 minutes. And then I got all my.
I don't know. Maybe you have a strong community of people with you.
I thought you were about to be like, no commute.
I mean, I think there needs to be an element of realness.
Yeah, danger too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a prostitute, I mean, I feel like it's just
danger
dangerous.
involved. Yeah, realness. I would say still a few laughs because that was unexpected and like endearing and I think it like humanizes things a bit, and then also just a strong cast.
What I need is a great cast and a little more drama. I think comedy would be great in it and like have a place for it. But I think to merely make it work, it's got to have a little more drama.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's what I need.
Wow, that was a great conversation. A lot of interesting takes, and I think we're really excited about our idea that we've got going here. So, you know, just to explain it a little bit further, it sounds like we're going to be, I think the title is still a bit of a working title, and in fact, maybe we'll put it up to the viewers at home to help us with that. But I think we had a couple different ideas. Initially, we were thinking like the Matador or like the Bull of Wall Street or something like that. But you know, I think we were thinking maybe in order to keep it in line with the original title, Pretty Woman, we were thinking like Pretty People or maybe Pretty Boy. So, you know, again, it's up to debate, but basically with our reboot, we're setting it in 2008 during the financial crisis, and our main character is the prostitute, a male prostitute in this case, and after having come out to New York to be a stockbroker. Again, set in 2008, his dreams are dashed by that economic collapse, and in order to kind of survive out there, he turns to prostitution. And in his adventures as a prostitute, he comes across and meets with, our billionaire in this case, who is a banker CEO, female banker CEO. So we're gender swapping the roles here, and I think we with our cast that we potentially cast, I think that's a lot of fun with Dev Patel and Kate Winslet. So yeah, I mean, I thought it sounded like a really interesting take, and I think it's kind of ripe for a reboot too. So I want to say thank you to my guest, Amanda. She was a fantastic guest with a lot of really great takes, and she's really quite beautiful too. So it was fun to look at her and listen to her and learn from her. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to her. So I'm always looking for more guests as well, and there's plenty more movies in the pipeline. So looking forward to doing more episodes. Have a great one, everyone. Peace.